Under the bright lights of the MGM Grand, the atmosphere felt thick enough to cut with a knife. The arena roared as Marcos "El Chino" Maidana made his march toward the ring, jaw clenched, eyes sharp, a man ready to turn chaos into a weapon. Maidana wasn't here to box. He was here to ambush. His style was wild, unpredictable, and born from street-tough instincts. And as he stepped between the ropes, you could feel the energy shift, as if danger had entered the building. Moments later, the crowd erupted once again, but this time it wasn't chaos, it was royalty. Floyd "Money" Mayweather emerged from the tunnel draped in confidence, a living spectacle in motion. A 5-division world champion, undefeated, untouched, unbroken. For years he ruled boxing with surgical precision. Tonight, though, he wasn't smiling. He knew Maidana wasn't here to participate. He was here to destroy. As the referee gave his final instructions, both men stared into each other's eyes, one radiating calm mastery, the other burning with violent ambition. "Protect yourselves at all times," the referee said. "Let's go." The bell rang, and Maidana exploded like a man possessed, throwing overhands, looping rights, and smothering Mayweather against the ropes. Nobody had seen Floyd in this posture for years, pressed, crowded, forced into survival instead of dominance. The storm had begun. Maidana didn't just attack, he swarmed. Every second of every exchange felt like a street fight disguised as a boxing match. He wasn't trying to outthink Mayweather. He was trying to overwhelm him, to drown him, to turn the masterpiece technician into a man fighting for escape. Punches came from every direction, over the top, around the guard, through the smallest openings. Even the ones that missed forced Mayweather into uncomfortable angles. For the first time in years, the undefeated champion looked human. Every clinch became a battle for control. Maidana used his forearms, his shoulders, even his head, anything to break Floyd's rhythm. The crowd sensed it. Something rare was happening. Mayweather had built his empire on timing and precision. But Maidana wasn't giving him time, and he wasn't giving him space. It felt like one long round of pressure. Floyd tried countering with quick hooks and sharp jabs, but Maidana ate them and kept coming. The more punches Maidana threw, the louder the Argentine fans became. Mayweather, for the first time in a decade, was being pushed into a style he never preferred, chaos. But champions aren't built from control alone. They're built from the ability to adjust. And that adjustment was coming. Somewhere around the middle rounds, something subtle but powerful changed. Maidana's relentless pace finally began to slow. The wild overhands weren't landing as clean. The swarms weren't as tight. And that was the moment Floyd Mayweather slipped into his true form. With the slightest adjustments, angle changes, pivots, shoulder rolls, he began to take back control. Mayweather's jab became the light that guided him through the storm. Accurate, snapping, precise. Every jab was a message, every right hand a warning. Maidana still came forward, but now he was absorbing more punishment than he was dishing out. Floyd began picking him apart. Clean body shots, crisp check hooks, perfectly timed rights down the middle. The crowd sensed the momentum shifting. Maidana's pressure was still dangerous, but the accuracy gap was widening. Mayweather landed at over 60%. Maidana, despite throwing far more, was connecting far less. Yet the fight remained tense. Maidana refused to disappear. Every time Floyd gained rhythm, Maidana hurled himself forward with one last burst of power. The war was now intelligence versus intensity, and neither fighter was willing to blink. As the fight reached the championship rounds, fatigue became the invisible opponent. Maidana's punches lost their steam, but his heart refused to slow. He pressured Floyd even when exhausted, forcing clinches, trapping him on the ropes, throwing punches because stopping simply wasn't in his DNA. But Mayweather? This was his realm. Round after round, he grew sharper, more composed, more precise. The veteran brilliance emerged. He began landing blistering combinations. 2, 3, sometimes 4 punches at a time. Maidana felt them, but he refused to break. The crowd at the MGM Grand could barely sit. Every exchange felt like it could tilt the fight in either direction. Mayweather slipped shots with inches to spare, countering with uppercuts that snapped Maidana's head back. Maidana responded with looping hooks, pushing the referee to intervene as the clinches grew rougher. A head clash opened a cut over Floyd's eye, adding tension. Was the fight slipping? Was time finally catching up? But the champion stayed calm. Even with blood dripping, Mayweather found ways to control distance, control timing, and most importantly, control moments. Maidana kept fighting like a man determined to rewrite history, but Floyd's precision had become overwhelming. In those final rounds, the difference between wild aggression and refined mastery finally appeared. The final round began with the arena on its feet. Both corners knew what this meant. There was no time for adjustments, no room for doubt. Just 3 minutes to either steal the fight or secure a legacy. Maidana charged forward, throwing everything left in his arsenal: hooks, jabs, overhands, anything that might puncture the defensive shell in front of him. His Argentine fans screamed in desperation, urging him to create the upset of the decade. Mayweather, however, stayed true to his trademark calm. He kept the fight in the center of the ring where he was safest. He countered effectively, controlled distance, and never allowed Maidana the chaos he needed. Every clean right hand felt like a nail sealing the decision. But Maidana refused to let the final round slip quietly. He attacked until the last second, pushing, grappling, punching, fighting like a man who didn't understand the meaning of surrender. When the final bell rang, both fighters raised their hands, not in arrogance, but in acknowledgement of the war they had survived. The judges' scorecards reflected the story of the fight: Maidana's heart versus Mayweather's precision. The announcement echoed through the arena. Winner by majority decision, Floyd "Money" Mayweather. The crowd erupted, not only for the champion, but for the challenger who pushed him to the brink. It wasn't just a fight. It was a battle of wills, a clash of worlds, and a night where boxing reminded everyone why it will always be the theater of the brave.